Let's talk about the different levels of being off-grid. So really, I think basically what it fundamentally boils down to is trying to get away from the control systems that are in place on the planet. There are a lot of really hardcore oppressive systems in place that are designed to keep the human spirit down on every single level. Everything that we see in the news and on media is completely inverted. It's not the truth at all about what's really going on there. So, for me, my journey for going off-grid was to get away from those control systems and to design my own destiny. I think everybody's journey will be different. So the original, I suppose, or the most common off-grid scenario would be to get off the electricity and the water grid. So for me, that would be level 1. So you're going to get your own solar, get your own boreholes, and then ramp up from that would be to take care of your own sewage, your own grey water, and your own rubble removal. So basically, from an infrastructure perspective, you are your own little mini government, and you have to take care of all of those things without any government intervention, as well as also maintaining roads. That's also something else that I would put into that infrastructure category. So that's probably the easiest thing to do when you're starting out on this journey is infrastructure. So for me, that's level 1. The next level up from that would be your food. So this is where you start to grow your own food forests. That takes a bit of time, especially if you're going to build your own farm from scratch like we did. We didn't buy an established house. We put everything in ourselves. So we are 2.5 years into the journey. So while we have eaten some stuff out of our farm, we are nowhere near a position to be feeding ourselves full-time from our farm yet. We are still a couple of years away from that. So that would be something else that you would then kind of work towards, is to reduce the amount of money that you would spend at the Checkers of the world. I don't think that it is realistic to expect that you as an individual or us as an individuals would be 100% self-sufficient. I think that would be a huge ask. If that did happen, I think it would take a lot of years and or a lot of money. So for me, it's better to grow some things and then to get involved in your community and to start sharing resources with those communities. We started a women's group here a few months ago, which has now morphed into a little farmers market. And all the locals in the area make all manner of things, which we can go to the farmers market now once a month in our area and go and get what we need. And then, in between, we can, collaborate with each other to get the stuff between market days. Okay, then after food, I'm going to put the next level in at your mind. So you need to get your mind off the grid, and by that what I mean is getting away from the mainstream media. We are manipulated and terrorized into fear campaigns 1,000 times a day from every single angle that you could possibly imagine. And it's doing that for a reason, because people that are scared are easy to control, and they will be more likely to accept a voice of authority to tell them what to do and how to behave and how to act and all that type of thing. So if you start to detox from that rhetoric the whole time, you will start to think for yourself. And I think that's an incredibly important part of your off-grid journey, is to start getting away from those things and start designing your own future. What does that look like for you in your world and your children's world and around it for your community? And you can only do that when you're out of panic mode and you're out of survival mode. Then you've got time to stop and think and go, okay, you know what? My basic needs are taken care of. Now I'm off grid. I've got some food growing. I've taken care of my water, my electricity. I'm okay. I can get to the farm. I'm doing okay. Now it's time to start focusing on your mindset and to be able to ramp up your manifestation techniques after that. Then another level up from that, I would say, is money. So, the government flicks a switch and they just take all the pension funds. All of us, we work for years and years and years to be able to retire one day, and it's a fact of life that most people are not able to retire. Governments are renowned for just taking all the pension fund money and leaving people destitute, So this is where you would probably need a financial planner and, kind of work towards that point of getting your money out of the system, away from government hands. That's my definition of this. There are, there's crypto that you could do. There are offshore things that you can do. I'm talking about from the South African context now. There's also some investments that are protected by multiple layers of legislation, so it would be harder for the government to get to some of the investments that are around. So this would take a bit of research and possibly an actual financial planner. I'm not that, so this is just my personal experience that I'm speaking from here. But protect your money, get it off grid. In other words, get it away from the governments. Health would be another thing to think about. Do you want to get your health off the grid? So this means, are you on a lot of pharmaceutical drugs? Do you take chronic medication? So if you do, is this something that you want to continue indefinitely? You may have to for medical reasons, but there is a saying that for every single condition that a human being has, there is a plant that can aid that. So it could be that you would then start looking at alternative healing, like natural healing methods, plants, Reiki, that type of thing, to reduce your dependence on the pharmaceutical industry. Because be under no illusion, those people are in on it to keep us all sick, fat, and dying. They are kingpins in that game. So they cannot be trusted. Because think about it. If your pills really worked, you wouldn't need to take them, right? But you've got to take them for the whole rest of your life. So really, how much are they actually working, actually? Right, so that's then your health. Then when you start to go to more advanced off-gridding now, then there's also fuel and energy. So, gas and petrol starts getting expensive. So this is quite a pricey game, though. So you could then start looking at biodigesters to get your own gas that you can go and cook with and potentially run cars with. That's very, very much next level. This maybe is something that you then could collaborate with your community on. There could be people in the community who are doing this already, where you can kind of share those resources potentially. And then another level up would be from a business perspective. How much is your business protected from, for example, the tech giants? So, the social media crowds, a lot of small businesses are running their businesses completely from the Facebooks of the world, Amazon. But the house never loses, and they change the rules constantly. And overnight, you just lose all your viewers. Overnight, they block your profile. Overnight, you just cease to exist on social media, And then if your business is purely run from social media and they change the rules, what will you do? So then you kind of got to go back to old school ways of doing stuff, which is really tried and tested methods. In this scenario, it would be to have your own website and to have your own mailing list, that you have control over what content gets posted and to whom. So it is a good idea to build a mailing list for your business if you're intending on running your own business or running a business from the farm. And you need to treat your farm like a business, otherwise it's not going to be very successful. And then your final level, I would think, would be a technology off-grid detox. This is very difficult to do, if not impossible. There is no escaping the tech giants. They own us in every way you can possibly think. They know what we think, what we feel, what we eat, what we fantasize about, what's wrong with us, what we're going to do. They have got a digital clone of every single person that has ever touched anything on the internet. And heaven only knows what they will do with it. I'm in IT, so I can't exactly get away from technology. It doesn't matter what I do at this point in time. But you can use the technology for good. Nothing is inherently evil. It's what the people do with something that's going to make it good or evil, I guess, So like with social media, as much as it is so addictive and it completely has changed the fabric of society, that being said, when I awakened to how the global control systems work, I met so many people around the world on Facebook that understood this and have helped me in my journey. And I've learned so much from these online communities, from people that I don't even know, So social media isn't all bad. The algorithms that they use to manipulate us, that is a whole other thing, that Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook are, destroying the psyche of a lot of teenagers and children and adults for that matter. Depressions have never been higher. So it's really hard to break away from those from those algorithms, because they are designed to keep us hooked forever. But if you at least just start becoming aware of them, you can start doing something about it, and you can minimize your time on technology and focus more time on the stuff that's real. If you're going to go move to a farm, the last thing you're going to want to do is spend all your time behind a computer, behind Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, and now bringing AI on top of it. You must just understand that all those toys are designed to do one thing and one thing only: keep you behind the screen and stop you from engaging with real life. So don't forget, that behind you and in front of you and around you is trees and people and plants and animals and, things that you can touch and feel. That's real. That's what matters. So as you're going through your off-grid journey and going through these different levels, just keep these things in the back of your mind. And it's not all going to happen overnight. It's stuff that's going to take many years, many, many years to achieve. So I haven't done all of those 8 levels yet. I'm still busy working on many of those things. I'm probably halfway through at this point in time. And it's a journey that's going to take many more years. But the thing is that if you are an off-gridder, if you are planning on being an off-gridder or a farm owner, you must understand that you are on the transition team. The world has gone through a fundamental energetic split. And there is something called a 3D and a 5D split. It's also known as a consciousness thing. But you can, if it gets a bit like airy-fairy, you can just think of it as a perspectives split, where one branch of the world is going to stay in that matrix of control, and the world run by technology and artificial intelligence, and the other side is going to be very organic and real and, human-like. And you get to choose which one of those worlds you want to live in. Nobody's going to force you. You get to choose at any stage which direction you want to go in. So all the people that are watching this right now are on the transition team to go this way. You are trailblazing to build a new future that is more fair to everybody on the planet, that is more sustainable for everybody. And it might not happen in our lifetimes, but at least you're trying, and it might not be perfect, and we're not going to change things overnight. It's going to take years and decades. It might not happen. I've already said that it won't happen in our lifetimes potentially. Sorry, if I repeat myself a lot, is because I did a lot of training in my career, and I had to repeat myself a million times for people to learn the technology. So old habits die hard. So yes, that's it. And so all you fearless farmers and fearless fans and future transition people, just know that you are not alone. Off-gridding is the best life ever. I regret absolutely nothing. Buffy and I have an amazing life here, absolutely amazing. And I suppose the acid test is, if I had known back then what I knew now, would I still have done it? And the answer is absolutely yes. I would change absolutely nothing, not a single thing. It is worth every single minute, every single sore bone, blood, sweat, tear, sting by some random paper wasp, you name it, sunburn. It doesn't matter. It's worth it. It's amazing. So go for it, and happy off-gridding.